we moved too fast, I have my whole like ledger set up into the end of the year, and like I have all the podcasts I have left to edit for the year marked down. I'm like, next year we're gonna hit episode 200, so that'll be exciting.
Didn't we just hit 150?
No, we hit 10 years.
Oh, that's what I knew we had a milestone.
Yeah. 150 was, I think, around when I joined.
Okay. Yeah, because we only do 24 numbered ones a year.
Yeah, 24 numbered podcasts a year, so.
Wow. So it'll take us another, when we hit 200, it'll take us another 4 years to get to 300. Over 4 years, which is an absurd way to think about that. Yeah,
and there'll still be Goosebumps stuff to cover.
He's never going to stop. He can't keep getting away with this.
He will. He absolutely will. Because he gets more and more money, and people just keep saying yes to him.
It's true. And he keeps saying yes to the money. It's a vicious cycle.
And so must we, Paul. And so must we also say yes to the money. Have you, I really want to talk about UFO 50.
Yeah.
But have you seen anything from the Duskmourn spoilers, the new Magic set?
I just saw the doll Spider. Doll. Spider doll I love that card. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's one that like might be Slappy.
And it's not Doll Spider? Not Spider Doll?
It's not Spider Doll. There's a legendary colorless dummy, ventriloquist dummy.
Wait, and this is the one that has the Goosebumps art in it, right?
Yeah, Tim Jacobus is doing special art. The folks in the Discord were talking about the art for Damn.
Yeah, Damn rocks.
Damn's so good.
Damn is good. That there's a bunch of melting dudes.
I love that one. There's a swear next to Tim Jacobus's art, which is great. But also that art's just really good. I like it. I like the other ones okay, but like Damn is very much the clear winner.
Yeah, it's it could have been called Melton Dudes, and it would have been, or Dude Melt would have been a good name for the card too.
Good old Dude Melt.
Dude Melt. In fact, should I draft that set, I'm going to call it Dude Melt. I play Dude Melt.
Damn. Dude Melted. So Marvin, Murderous Mimic, is a really weird, like legendary colorless artifact creature.
Mm-hmm.
I think they well, obviously they're angling for a Goosebumps like tie-in, like a secret lair or something where but I just feel like Slappy is black, like Slappy is black mana, like black and red,
yeah he's got to be pure evil, like he can't, he has been a good guy, you know what I mean? And not that black mana things can't be good guys.
No, like Slappy has been aligned in his interests have aligned with other people's on occasion.
I guess it's more that it's not so much that he's been a good guy; it's just that his interests have aligned.
I think if I was doing a Slappy card, it would definitely need an AOE because he's got to have his screams and his like barf.
Yeah, he needs a projectile barf. He needs like a do X damage to player or creature. He definitely needs that.
Or make a barf token, and we'll figure out what that does later.
And then Slap needs to be its own instant card. You know, like its Slap is an ability on there, like because all dummies can slap within the Goosebumps universe, right?
Yeah. But if you control like a legendary artifact toy, then Slap costs 2 less. Or something.
Yeah. Slap twice.
Slap twice. Slap, then slap again.
We could. I know we don't want to promote Wizards, but Wizards, if you are listening for some reason, we will consult on the design of your Goosebumps crossover if you need it.
Yeah, we understand both brands very well.
We're well loved across both brands.
We're beloved. I would not want to design Magic cards. I feel like that is probably one of the more like mathematically intense, playtesting intense, socially intense. Like I feel like that gig as a Magic card designer is just super stressful.
Do you think that there are tiers of designers? Do you think there are like designers who come up with the general mechanics and then there are they hand it off to the number designers, or do you think that is just a one-stop shop?
They're very open about development. I don't know how exactly it works, but they've definitely spoken up about how they're structured. But a lot of it comes down to like just like somebody will be like, here's an evocative design, and then they'll play test it to see if there are any problems. But I think like they could like play test a set for a year, and in 10 minutes the community would have more time with the cards than they do, just because of how many Magic
sheer
players
numbers,
there are.
right? Yeah.
So there was like a thing where like this really busted card called Nadu came out, and Nadu like basically had this really overpowered interaction with artifacts that cost 0 to equip, which Wizards doesn't really do anymore, but that like the synergy existed, and like all of the decks in a recent tournament were just playing Nadu, and so Nadu got the ban, and everyone's like, well, how could this have happened?
How could you let this happen? Yeah.
Why did you do this? And the designers came out with a post, and they're like, listen, like, this was a last minute change, and we didn't get to test it as much as we could, but last minute changes have saved more cards than you know about, because no one's going to talk about all the success stories for this.
Right. Totally. I get that.
But yeah, with Magic, it just seems like, especially designing Magic today, any card you make is just an entry into a game, and you can't take it back. Whatever mistakes are there, like, it can be nudged a little bit if there's like something egregiously wrong, or it can be banned, but it's just like, no, that's part of Magic forever. Clown Car is a part of Magic forever.
It's crazy to me that they can still, I know that there are probably infinite permutations, but the fact that they can still make new cards with new numbers that are mechanic. I know that there probably are a lot of like things that are the same card, but there's like one little detail different on it. But it's absurd to me because there's so many cards at this point. How many cards overall in Magic at this point?
30K, I think.
That's wild.
Yeah, like, part of it is finding these really, really tiny mechanics, like these little tiny interactions, like Scry or Surveil or whatever, like, or Mill, or it's just like something that like isn't really worth a whole lot, but like 1 mana is worth so many things, like, but it's not worth as much as a card, and like just like figuring out all these resources, because like they didn't understand everything in alpha, but like having to like designing Space Kings, which is different, but it was hard because there are much less things you can do mechanically in Space Kings by design. But like finding out those little interactions and stuff has been a big part of Stone Song, like my second stab at that system. And like, yeah, it's just literally finding out like how to divide things even smaller, like scrying for one. Like, how much is that worth? Like, how much can we synergize with that?
Yeah.
And, like, new Scry stuff is coming out all the time. The elves in the Lord of the Rings set were all about Scry. And I was like, oh, wow, payoffs for scrying. Like, of course. Why didn't we see it earlier?
Wasn't there scrying in Bloomburrow? In Boom? What did you call it?
Yeah, there's scrying and surveilling.
That's what it was. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that... they've been doing a really good job of resurrecting, like, old mechanics that didn't really get a fair shot. Like Manifest is coming back in Duskmourn, which is like putting cards face down, and we already did like putting cards face down in like Onslaught, and then now in like Murders at Karlov Manor did again, but like I think Khans of Tarkir had Manifest, which had face down cards. It's just nuts. Like there's so much shit.
Yeah, I guess they do. You add like one new mechanic like that, and suddenly. Like, there's so many different ways you can push the cards, which is great. Like, you know, like I've watched the thing about like splitting the cards in two and having two spells on a single card that are separate, totally separate spells. Like just adding those little. So they've definitely increased the amount of design space for themselves. But
yeah, and in this latest one in Duskmourn, they're doing something they haven't really done before, which is like a 2-for-1 enchantment. So rooms are like split down the middle. So you play like one half of the room, and that room's door unlocks, and then later you can pay for the other half and unlock the other door, and it does both things.
That's sick.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, it's 2 enchantments on the same card. Like, we haven't really seen this before. We've seen 2 spells on the same card. They've also tried to like pull away from Innistrad a little bit, so there aren't like werewolves or creatures that flip or anything in this set. It's just like, how do we define this like horror realm that's different from Phyrexia and different from Innistrad.
Right.
It's cool. Like, I did not go in wanting to like this set. I was like, I want Bloomburrow back.
I know. It was so good.
I'm not going to buy a box of Duskmourn. I'm definitely going to buy a few singles, though, because they did a really good job.
You know what they got to bring back though? You know it has to get its day.
What?
Bushido. Bushido has not had its moment. I need Bushido to work. I wanted to make a samurai deck so bad, Kevin.
You could bring Bushido back, but it would be really hard because Bushido is a bad mechanic.
It sucked. It sucked so bad.
It's cool as hell. It is like basically my ride or die commander, Toshiro.
Yeah, I have him too. Yeah, that guy rocks.
Yeah, he's my favorite commander. I think his Bushido ability has triggered like twice in the 10 years I've been playing.
Bushido sucks.
Yeah, it's bad, but it's cool. But the one time where it really mattered, where they're like, "Oh, I'm just going to chump block with my 2/2," and I'm like, actually, Toshiro has Bushido, so he'll become a 3/3.
Hell yeah! Oh, that rocks. It's so good. I'm glad it had its moment. At least one moment for Bushido.
Bushido does indeed rule.
Now, Bloomsboro brought back one of my favorites, which it isn't ninjutsu, but it was kind of like ninjutsu, where it brought like the fish deck back, the merfolk deck back, where you're constantly bouncing cards. Well, it was very ninjutsu when I was doing it with frogs, with you like the jumping mechanic. They played extremely similar to ninjas. Somewhat similar, I guess, because ninjutsu, right, is like when you are unblocked, you can then swap for another ninja that you do the kind of like the log, the log flash, and you become another ninja. This was like every time you played one, you bounced one back, and it gave me that similar feeling to like surprising or like using the ability to bounce someone back to your hand in your favor. I don't know. I really loved that about frogs.
You just reminded me that there is a recent semi-recent Bushido printing, and it's on a frog.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Was it from Bloomsboro?
Jade Avenger is a frog samurai that's 2/2 for 2, and it has Bushido too.
Oh, hell yes. Dude, look at that guy.
Yeah, that rules.
Bushido's cool. Bushido needs to work somehow. They need to. This is the thing, though. They have like a bad mechanic, right? Yeah. And like now it's like, okay, well now that's just compost for a future good version of that mechanic, right?
Yeah, like you could do something that like forces blocks so Bushido actually triggers. Like the problem with Bushido is it never triggers.
Yeah.
Like it's only like, oh, I remember that Bushido exists, so I'm actually not going to block.
Right. Yeah. You just you ignore it. You walk around them. They're like standing there cool with their blade, and you like sidestep around them and then stab the wizard that's cast them in the stomach. Right.
You could do something with like a payoff where like if you get a Bushido trigger, something else happens, but then like if it's an enchantment or something your opponent can see, then you're super never getting that Bushido trigger.
Right.
It's kind of a problem with all of the like combat mechanics.
Menace
is that
and stuff.
Yeah, Menace. Menace is like, I'm definitely going to get a 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to kill 2 things or something like that, and it never. You just don't get blocked.
No, you end up you just end up getting free attacks, and like that's cool for ninjutsu, but it's not cool for Bushido, right? Like
Menace is great. Like I fully love Menace as a keyword, but
yeah, Menace works. Bushido freaking stinks.
It'll come back one day.
It's coming back. We're gonna make it.
They'll figure it out. There were no mistakes. It just needed more time to cook.
Yeah, samurais are cool. It's gonna happen.
Samurais are cool, and I do love Kamigawa as a set. Before we go to the book, though, I did want to hear a little bit about UFO 50.
Oh yeah, so I played some UFO 50 today, and if you don't know what UFO 50 is, UFO 50 is a new video game collection. And it's absurd. It's an absurd collection. So it's
50 video games by the Spelunky guy and his team. It's so good.
It's absurd. There are so many people involved in this game. I don't even know the full team, but it is 50 fully fledged video games. We played one game today. Which one was it? It was the Dream Drive. Fuck, it's like a car racing shooting game. Seaside Drive is what it's called. And that one kicks ass. It's just a fun arcade shoot 'em up where it's 2-player co-op. One person is driving the car and the other person is shooting, and there are, it's a side scroller and things are coming at you and you shoot them. And the cool mechanic is you have 3 tiers to your gun, and the car, if you change directions quickly, goes into a drift mode and it builds the power up to your power meter for your third shot, so you have the most powerful shot. So you want to constantly be flying all over the screen and there's bullets. It's like a bullet hell. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in it. But it's great because it's 2 players and one person focuses on defense and one person focuses on offense. And I played that with Nick, one of my partners in the show Continue, and that was a absolute blast. But so there's 50 games on this thing, and they're all part of a fictional company called UFO Soft, and for a video game console called the LX. And they have a lore and history. There are fictional developers that
you can play them in like a canonical order, where like the early games are like a little more basic, and the late games have a little like more zazz to them as they figure out the programming language a little bit more.
Yeah, and like there's like mechanics that go through there. I've only played maybe 6 or 7 of the games, and apparently there are like mascots that start to appear and they start to reappear in other games. There's like design ideas that carry through. There's a game called Mortal in there that there is a second version of it. We jumped right to the second one. So like I don't even know what the first one's like. I don't know how it relates. I like, and the way that Mortal 2 works is like really in depth. And I'm excited to go back and see what Mortal 1 is like. You know what it does for me? This is a game made for me, Kevin, because you know me. I love
your emulators.
I love emulators and I love digging. I love digging through games. I love finding a developer and then being like, oh, well, what else did they work on? And then like exploring it and seeing like what ideas carry through their work. And then this is literally the video game where it's like self-contained. So like for me, the problem with that is I will spiral out into all kinds of directions and I don't have like a kind of like clear path to follow. This is giving me a very clear path to follow. It is a lot of fun. I gotta say that we played like 6 or 7 games, and maybe 1 game or 2 games like I didn't have enough time to get like kind of like get the game, you know?
Yeah.
But like Seaside Drive instantly clicked for us, and then we played that Mortal game. We were playing it, we were kind of like, and then we understood what was happening with it, and all of a sudden we were like, oh my god, this is incredible, and we went over the time for our record for that. And then we played this game called Mooncat. This is the last one I'll talk about. I won't go into detail about all of them. This game called Mooncat on there, and the way the game works is you're like this little 2-legged, weird-looking mooncat creature. You're not a cat. It's like a freaky little like mushroom guy that you are. And the controls are all D-pads make you move left and all face buttons make you move right. And in order to jump, if you're holding one of those directions, if you hit the other set, either the face buttons or the directional buttons, you'll jump. And then if you hit it again, you'll do like a dive attack. And then you can use that to make you do bouncing attacks off and like chain enemies together. And then there's a slide dash as well in there. And
holy shit.
And then there's like a swimming it's wild. And there's no death. Most of the games I noticed, there are games with lives because these are supposed to be kind of the arcade carryover, right? Where like a life was a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mooncat has no lives. It's just you get to a new screen and you're at that screen and you keep trying it until you give up. And the only way to die is to give up. So at least as far as I could tell, maybe there's a certain point you reach where it like times out. But
that's fucking rad.
It's cool as hell. It is such a fun thing. I would say I think it's like less than $20, and it's like someone, I think Derek, he was talking about it, and he said that it would take hundreds of hours. So if you're like one of those people that really needs to get your money's worth, this really feels like a bang for your buck style game. I don't even need that experience. I just need to play I'll try them all, and then I'll find the ones that I like, and I'll just dive into them, you know?
Yeah, I'm interested to see like the way that makes sense to play it is like chronological, like the fake chronological order or whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of just want to treat it like, you know, like the Wonder Swan emulator or whatever, and just like get like a big pack of games and be like, yeah, that one sounds good.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I'm gonna do that or if I think I'm gonna go through it in order. I think. I already started it that way. We already played the first and the last game. That was the first thing we did. But like, I don't know. It's tough because I think there are some games that might only be multiplayer. I'm not sure of that, but I feel like there are some games that struck me as like Seaside Drive. I don't think you can. I don't think you could play that on your own. Maybe you could, but I just don't understand. I don't think I would. It would not be as good of a game. The joy in that game was playing with another person. So I think there's going to be ones that I'm going to have to skip over just for that reason. So we'll see. Oh, there's like a little like Tamagotchi weird thing in there. There's all kinds of mystery. There's a terminal. Kevin, I know you'll love this. There's a terminal that you can go into and type things.
What?
Yeah. And I don't know what the deal with that is. Why do I have access to a terminal in this thing? It's like mysterious and like it's cool.
Derek Yu just remains like one of my favorite designers ever.
He's so cool.
I can't wait to jump into UFO 50.
If you're at all interested if you like to read and you are at all interested in video games and how they're made, you simply must read Derek Yu's book about Spelunky.
Yeah, Spelunky is like, if you want to know what making a game be like, it is just read Spelunky.
Yeah, it's like about making art in general too. Like there's so many things that it's very, very much about making a video game, but there's also like a lot of like overall like making things in general energy. And
we talk about like the puzzle piece aspect of it, where like you'll have a good idea somewhere, and that's just a puzzle piece. Like that's just a piece of something. It might be the puzzle you're working on. It might be something else, but like a good idea on its own doesn't matter for much. It's linking them together so that multiple problems are solved and finding synergies and stuff. Like it's a really good read, honestly.
Yeah, it's a really fun read. It's like a cozy read too. I've something really cozy about that book, and I can't put my finger on what exactly makes it cozy, but it is.
I think it's the way he gently explains stuff you already understand.
Yeah, right. I don't feel like talked down to at all. He's so like sweet and thoughtful, and he can explain something that you already understand in a way that is even simpler than the way you understand it and makes you understand it deeper. And you're like, whoa, I just learned about something I already learned about.
Yeah, there's like a part where he explains what Mario is or what a roguelike is.
Yeah,
and like anywhere you would find something kind of dismissive, it's like just play it, like whatever. But he actually puts the effort into making it like into being like, don't put the book down. Like I will explain to you what Mario does. What is a Mario?
Right. Yeah. It's such a good book. Yeah. Speaking of books,
hey,
we read one today.
We did. Welcome to Goosebuds. My name's Kevin.
My name is Paul.
Today we read Welcome to Camp Slither, part of the Goosebumps Horrorland onslaught.
Today, you know what today felt like, Kevin?
What did it feel like?
Chad
Paul?
is, by the way, Chad, our other host. If you've never listened before, there is a third person on this show named Chad. Chad he got caught up in Cabin Wars. I don't know if you do this, and he's deeply his team moved on.
I mean, I know what Cabin Wars are. To quote Chad, I know what this is, but if you could say it for the people at home listening.
Don't worry. We'll definitely be talking about Cabin Wars, right, Kevin?
Oh, Cabin Wars. Okay. No, he's repping the garden snakes. Cabin Wars.
He's on the Team Tiny Snakes. And they're doing real good. They're having a Cinderella run through Cabin Wars this year. It's a beautiful thing, but he couldn't make it for the podcast today.
No, because he was just Warren too much. He loves War now.
I don't even want to get into it. It makes me kind of sad. I feel like we lost him to War, but he'll come home. He'll come home from War if Serpo doesn't get him. As we know, all wars end. So so he'll certainly be
there's no such thing as a forever war.
No.
Like a conflict that just keeps happening over and over and over.
No, of course not.
That'd be a real bummer.
Here's what today felt like to me, though.
What did today feel like?
Our last podcast, where the three of us watched something. We watched a episode of Pete, which is something we like to do at the beginning of fall every year. It's kind of a little reset for ourselves. It's an incredible show. Little treat, beautifully written, thoughtful. All kinds of things that all children's literature and television should be. Going to that and then coming back to the Goosebumps Horrorland onslaught feels a little bit like coming back from vacation, and you're like, do you think the bad boss is going to be in the office today? Or do you think they might have taken off too? You know? Like, I feel like I'm like, oh, come on. Maybe.
Yeah, what kind of R.L. Stine are we going to get today?
Which boss is, you know, like what office or retail, whatever it may be. This shift, is the bad boss going to be there or is it going to be the good boss?
I think we got an okay boss.
At the least, we got the boss who doesn't micromanage you at all and kind of lets you do what you want to do. Well, for the first part.
I honestly feel like this one is RL calling a truce with us.
Okay.
This is a pretty normal, like, camp book. He doesn't really push this quite as far as he could.
No. Well, I think that's sort of a refrain we're starting to notice amongst the Goosebumps Horrorland, because he only goes... You would think the reduced size of the story, right? Condensing down his stories from, what, like 120, maybe 100 pages to 70?
He still seems surprised that the thing's over. Like, he still seems caught unawares. Like, he's like, shit, it's done. Okay, whatever, Horrorland now.
Yeah, it almost feels like he kept all the beginning part, and then he's like, oh, crap, I forgot I'm supposed to cut 5 chapters out of this. And then he just gives the last 5 chapters in one chapter every single time.
And this one had, like, so many repeated jokes, but it kind of worked for me.
Heather felt like a character that would be in a Kevin Cole RPG session, I gotta say. I didn't write down all of Heather's cool catchphrases.
Yeah, I did. I wrote down a bunch of them. Ding dong.
Ding dong is a good one. Ding dong was working for me.
In my head, like, RL is getting this, like this is inspired by true events.
Yeah.
And I think in the first draft of this, Heather was just saying fucking stuff.
Yeah, he was doing the curse draft. He did one draft where the curses were allowed to fly. As a person who's written children's books, I'll tell you this much. There are curse drafts. You always start with a curse draft.
Yeah, the shitty elf. The shitty elf that does the work for you. And then you just clean up after the shitty elf.
Yeah, then you come up with the fun, kid-friendly jokes that work instead of the curses.
So yeah, this book's okay.
To give you a little taste of the end, this one's okay. I summed this book up in 7 steps at the end, which I'll read to you. What do you think? It'd be better to tell that at the beginning or the end? Is it too much spoilerage to give the...
blast them with it.
Blast it right now?
You guys are cool, right?
All right.
You guys are cool.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Wow, summer camp. Step 2. Maybe there are snakes. 3. Nah, can't be snakes. 4. Okay, maybe there's snakes. 5. Yup, snakes. 6. Serpo. 7. The snakes have been defeated. And then I added an 8th one, which doesn't sort of count, but it's, hey, what the hell even was Cabin Wars?
Yeah.
That was a step for me.
We got cheated out of a lot of camp stuff in this. But we got, like, mysterious complexes.
I know. Yeah. There was so much mystery. My favorite part about... and okay, so this is something we should talk about. In the grand scheme of Goosebumps books, the camp ones have been reliable hits, right?
Yeah. I think I might like this one more as I talk about it.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty decent one.
It's silly. At least it's silly, you know?
And there are characters that I legitimately enjoy in this one.
I agree.
Boone, our main guy, Boone Dixon. Great name.
Boone Dixon, great name. A bit of a paradox in it as a character, too.
Hates mysteries.
Hates them. Must solve them.
Must solve them. Not in a, like, I'm very, like, in a curious way, like, I must, like, unravel these things to bring light to the universe. Just in they fucking piss him off.
It's a neurotic angst kind of way. Like, it's like the feeling of, like, when you lay down and you get comfy in bed, and you're like, oh, did I turn? Did I lock the front door? And you're like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up, but the mystery's killing me. I'm going to get up.
Yeah.
And you do it out of
mysteries.
Oh, I hate mysteries. And you go downstairs and the door's locked. But you had to check the mystery. Maybe it wasn't locked. Who knows? But it didn't matter. You just hated the mystery.
Can these mysteries give me a ding dong break?
What was her other one? She had another one too.
Her other one,
it was the beginning
Diggity.
Diggity. Oh, Diggity that's the one that made Heather the hit of Camp Slither.
You know, you think she rides up straight to the line of, like, oversaturating the brand of Ding Dong and Diggity, but as soon as you're sick of Ding Dong, here comes Diggity.
Here comes Diggity. And the people can't get enough of Diggity, too. She uses Diggity 3 times in a row at brunch, at cabin brunch. And And the kids love it.
All the camp food in this is really good, too.
They're eating well.
Yeah, they're having, like, sausage with egg McMuffins.
Biscuits and gravy? Like... They had biscuits and gravy. You know how hard that is to make? You gotta make a roux? Who's making a roux?
It's not too hard to make a roux.
But it takes time.
It does take time.
A roux for like 100 camp kids. Imagine the ladle.
The more roux you're making, the easier it gets.
That's true.
That's the secret of sausage gravy.
So if you're making like a big old barrel full of sausage gravy.
Yeah, if you're making a shit ton of sausage, you have a ton of sausage grease.
I guess because it's just a ton of grease, a ton of butter, and you just dump that flour in there.
Yeah.
And it just goes.
You don't even have to measure. Just like, that seems like the amount of flour equal to the amount of grease I have.
A barrel's worth of flour to a barrel's worth of grease.
A whole barrel.
I gotta say, the cover of this one by Brandon Dorman. Brandon Dorman is the new Tim Jacobus here.
He is new dad. So I didn't want to come on too strong. I wanted to like protect my heart. I love his covers.
These covers are good. Science Snake? I'm into Science Snake.
Snake with a worm in it as well. Like it's a double snake, if I recall it correctly.
It is. What's that about? Oh, it's a tinier snake. There's a little tiny snake guy back there.
Snake plus smaller snake? That's twice the scares.
Snake with lackey snake?
His little cute girlfriend snake?
With girlfriend snake that he must protect?
Yeah, arm candy snake. I love these snakes. I want to hear more about them. I thought also, like, this is a very orange cover. I thought we might be getting into like a more Wild West scenario.
Yeah, no, we got pure summer. Like,
and Camp on a Lake.
Camp on Lake. It's they don't break any new ground with the type of camp it is. I don't know. Do you want to get into? Should we get into the details of this?
Yeah. So Boone and Heather are on their way to Camp Hither.
Which I was a little annoyed. Were you a little annoyed by Camp Hither?
I guess we can't outright call it Camp Slither, but
can we? Can we not though? Can't we just do that?
Yeah, maybe we can. If it can be called Horrorland, like that would be interesting if there was like a tie-in or whatever, being like it's a snake-themed camp.
Yeah,
like on the surface, but maybe it'd be too similar to Horrorland in that.
Maybe, but we're in a post. What's the Nickelodeon show? What's the
Salute Your Shorts?
No, the Temple of Doom show.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
We're in a post Legends of the Hidden Temple world. Silver snakes. We're a team. Yep. Snakes are cool. Kids like snakes. Call it Camp Slither. Call it Snake Camp. Say that there's a pet snake that everyone gets to hang out with.
Dude, it's on a lake. We can go to Lake Snake.
Lake Snake. Camp Lake Snake.
Yeah, Camp Lake Snake.
Camp Snake Lake.
Snakes on a lake. There's a lot you can do. But it's Camp Hither, and it doesn't really work, and it's also a little clumsy because we have Camp Hither and Sister Heather.
That's what really got me. I was like, come on, man. Come on. You're gonna make me say Hither and Heather in the same sentence many times? No, thank you.
Yeah.
No,
but the product placement, though.
You
get,
go on.
Nerf footballs being thrown around in the beginning.
Off-brand manga. Another
Off-brand manga. No title mentioned manga books.
Manga,
as we all refer
and
to
the
them.
Manga plays a bit of a role in this. It is a little plot device that gives us that deepens the mystery for Boone.
It does. And there's also a PSP mentioned.
Oh yeah, the PSP sighting was pretty exciting for me.
That was definitely for me. I was like, hell yeah, the PSP.
He's playing some cool car game that's loud.
Yeah. His thumbs are going crazy. He's only got one analog stick because they thought they could get away with that shit.
That weird analog stick that slid around on the surface of the PSP.
Yeah. You had to, they sold, aftermarket, cushions for those things because those would fuck up your thumb.
Oh, yeah. Trying to play a character action game with that thing? No, thank you. What?
Yeah, use the D-pad to move the camera around. Oh. Use the shoulders to move the camera. What the fuck?
I'm feeling the dank blisters already. Yeah, we got all kinds of drops. We got Nerf, we got PSP. I'm really surprised that he didn't ask his kids for one manga to drop. Although,
yeah, I mean, is Roddy McDonald reading Fruits Basket? Is he reading Silver Spoon? What's he reading?
It's 2009. It could have been Silver Spoon for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like he's reading Death Note, but he wouldn't be allowed to write that because it's too dark.
Yeah.
I feel like at that time, a 13-year-old kid's probably reading Death Note, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because, like, what would my campers be reading? And it was, like, Fruits Basket, Death Note. Anyway, we're introduced to Roddy McDonald.
We're given a little mishearing where it is believed that he is Ronnie McDonald. Yep. Our character laughs at that.
Flashback to Always Sunny, learning Mac's real name.
Yes.
And Roddy is I don't think we've really seen this character before, but he's kind of like this doomsayer character who's really neurotic. Usually this is our main character, like our RL stand-in. Mm-hmm. But he, like, Roddy is just kind of very neurotic and nervous and afraid of, like, snakes and snake-related death, and thinks that he's going to his doom. And Boone just kind of, like, lightly bullies him into, like, going along with everything.
The way that Boone introduces himself as a jumpy guy, he calls himself a jumpy guy. I think he was going into this preparing to be the Roddy, and then he saw how low a Roddy can sink. And he was like, "Oh, I'm way better than this guy.
I'm not that bad.
I'm not that bad. I'm digging into this guy. This guy's getting the stick. I'm giving him the bully stick." And he knows he can ride him into Camp Cooldom.
Yeah, Boone's like, "Stick with me, Roddy." Like, Boone's like trying to work the crowd a little bit. He's like trying to assuage.
Yeah, he does a little
fears.
Crowd work on the bus, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's like, you know, who has been to this camp before, and no one on the bus has been to the camp, which is a good creepy detail. I like that we have little things that kind of are explainable, but when they add up, they become something ridiculous. Like that. Like, he does good. That's good.
And
like,
Boone's justification for why there are no kids on the bus who have gone there is ridiculous, which is that all the new kids are on one bus and all the previous camp kids are on another bus.
Again, like, it's the unlikely but plausible explanation. And you know, I feel like so often Goosebumps goes into unlikely and unplausible.
Yeah, right.
Right off the bat. And this is like a good slow burn, which we don't end up with the fireworks or the explosion that the slow burn would, like, suggest, but it's still pretty good.
No, it's the ending of this one's we're gonna unpack it. It's something. I'll say this much. I think it's the part he thought the least about.
But we do get a mercifully short and straightforward Horrorland that does nothing.
That's true. Well, dude, I feel like the last couple have been like, hold.
It's like, give them one detail. Yeah. And this Horrorland is just a complete joke.
We almost don't need to talk about it.
Chad's not here to make us.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have to do that part of the homework. Only Chad Dad will do that. Force us to do that. I will
literally just shout my notes into the microphone, and, you know, we can go back to talking about UFO 50.
Oh, thank God, man. Bless you.
So the first adult we're introduced to is, it's Dr. Crawler.
Dr. Crawler with a cool embroidered Dr. Crawler jacket.
He's got the jacket. He's got the mustache. He's got the creepy name. His name is Dr. Creep-E Crawler.
C.E. Crawler, yeah. I think that detail was on the door at some point when they found his office.
I really hope it was. Like, that's just one of those, like, gifts that RL gives us where it's like, yeah, this guy's bad and we all know it.
Yeah. I mean, because he tries to kind of play it off because well, I guess we figure out Dr. Crawler, and that's a scare. That is a scare for the audience. He ends chapter with that.
Yeah, his name being embroidered on his jacket is a scare that we end a chapter on.
The scares in this one are so tame for the first 50% of this very short story, I think.
This does kind of feel like a rambling story you'd hear from a camp kid trying to make an encounter sound bigger than it is.
Yeah, someone that doesn't hasn't thought about seeding a little bit of horror throughout the entire thing. This is a scare. We get a scare, and then it's revealed that is, yes, indeed his name. But he reveals that they all belong to different snake themed cabins.
Yeah, they're in Cottonmouth, headed up by Counselor Nathan.
Nathan, who's a real goofy guy.
Yeah, Nathan has like a detached nature about him. He's not a very hands-on counselor most of the time.
But he's certainly a taskmaster.
He is. We meet. He's not taken very seriously though.
No. He's the nurse. I forget what her name is. Says that he's
Nurse April.
Nurse April says he's from another planet. Which I thought maybe, I can't remember at this moment what the name of the first camp book was from the original Goosebumps series, but that is the one that ends with the revelation that they are all space aliens, which I thought was nice. I thought that was maybe a nice reference back to that, and also maybe a fake out.
Yeah, maybe a Freudian like subconscious "I've been here before" thing by RL.
Yeah,
but we also meet Sid and Kelly, who I legitimately like as background characters.
Sid and Kelly are cool. Sid plays video games. Has a PSP, kind of rocks.
Yeah.
Kelly
sleeps. Kelly's lazy and rules. Like,
Kelly sleeps, but Kelly will save your ass when you need him to.
It's true. I was so proud of those boys. So I think here's where we hit, like at the nurse's office is where we hit on the actual most interesting part of the the story, but it never really gets its moment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reveal, but the Sunglow sunscreen.
Yeah.
It's very important that the kids apply this orange spray to themselves constantly.
In a mid-2000s climate change aware world makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
But they're told to apply this stuff twice a day, and it leaves a very thick, sticky, scaly residue upon Boone's skin.
It's such a great idea. Like the whole thing could just be the sunscreen that turns you into a monster.
Yeah.
And I know there are a million Goosebumps about the normal item that turns you into a monster, but
this one works.
Sunscreen's great because it's it's all texture. It's all just a fucked up, no one likes the feeling of sunscreen when you first put it on.
But it's it's a necessary thing. Unlike Monster Blood, where you're like, I'm not going to eat that goop. Like, why would I eat that goop? Right? This is like, I'm going to spray the stuff on me, the anti
I don't want
cancer
sunburn.
stuff. I don't want cancer. I'm gonna avoid that. This makes perfect sense. So it's a perfect delivery system for a spooky thing.
Even the name Sunglow is without the W. It's
vague.
It's vague. It's corporately sinister.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not like any sunscreen they've ever put on before. It's got good. I think we find out that the sunscreen isn't really sunscreen later, or it's not entirely sunscreen. I think it would have been a good hint to have a really sunburned kid.
Yeah.
He's I don't know why I got sunburned. I'm doused in Sunglow.
Oh, to really put a little hat on it for the kids.
Yeah, to seed that idea of the Sunglow isn't actually sunscreen.
Isn't even this. Yeah, does this stuff even work? Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I do got to say, and probably because it's so inconsequential, we did skip over. Dr. Crawler in his speech talks about the different snake themed cabins, and he really talks up Cabin Wars. And the kids are like, what the heck is Cabin Wars? And they're like, oh, you will find out what you are definitely going to hear about and experience and be thrilled by Cabin Wars across the tail of this entire book.
This is what Horrorland took from us, because if there wasn't that waste of pages,
if there weren't 30 pages of Horrorland, we would have had 30 pages of Cabin Wars.
It would have been probably pretty mid. But I wanted to hear about it too. I was so disappointed by the anti-resolution of Cabin Wars that I couldn't even put it together in my brain when he mentioned that Chad was Cabin Wars.
Well, that he's deep in Cabin Wars right now. We'll have to ask him when he gets back what Cabin Wars is like.
We'll get the full story.
I'm sure we'll get all the details that we are so upset about missing. I'm sure he'll fill us in on.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to ask him that without any prepping or anything like that.
Yeah, he loves that.
Yeah, he
loves being put on the spot like that. We get a nice skin peel scene. That's a good. I thought that was a great sting to end on. Just the little weirdness of the Sunglow is stripping my skin off. Fucked up. Great.
Pretty messed up.
And then we hear about
Serpo, baby.
Serpo, and it's a big letdown that Serpo just doesn't exist.
I know. Serpo would have been. I think of no Horrorland segment we would have gotten Cabin Wars, and we would have gotten Serpo's reveal. Serpo's big
Yeah.
reveal.
This book already has like 2 or 3 endings, and Serpo factors into none of them.
Oh,
and I think that would be the greatest sting at the end if Serpo actually was real and there was a giant snake.
For the last page, little like wink and nod joke. If Serpo like hitched a ride back, that would have been sick. Boone gets 3 tickets to Horrorland. And he's like, "Oh, you got an extra one for me?" And then Serpo, pops out of the trunk of the car or something.
Spoilers
cool.
for later, but I was really, really hoping that Boone would be turned into a snake.
I know.
He would have to go to Horrorland as a snake,
and then like befriend the kids as a snake.
But then, like, if he was like a were-snake or something, that could be cool too. But like, I would remember him if there was just a snake in the party.
Yes, if there was a snake in the party, 1, distinct member, finally. 2, the terrible turn that happens in Horrorland would have been cool if he could have were-snaked for that part.
It would be like recruiting Red 13. Like, you get all these two-leggers, and then suddenly Red 13 shows up, and you're like, oh my god, an RPG character can be this?
I hate it when we think of a cooler book.
I know.
Damn it, I hate it when that happens.
I just want a child to be a were-snake. I think this is actually a really good detail, is Dr. Crawler talking, like he's doing like a evening announcements or some shit, but there's a hiss that permeates the camp,
which I read as like a cicada hiss.
Yeah, I went to a college where it was heated by steam and steam vents, and so our entire campus hissed.
Whoa, that's sick.
And shook. Like there was like a generator below our apartment. And
what kind of Lynchian horror world were you living in?
Oh man, look at the UMass Dartmouth campus. It looks like a Doom level. It's all concrete and brutalist. It's crazy. It's a disaster relocation site in case Boston eats a nuclear bomb.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. Wild. But yeah, our whole apartment shook in junior and senior year because we were above the steam generator, and there were steam tunnels and stuff underneath the school that we were not allowed access to, and we definitely didn't go in case any of my RAs are listening to.
It definitely was not rooms full of snakes.
Yeah, we definitely didn't drink vodka mixed with grape Kool-Aid. That's not a good cocktail. If you
No. Small dark fruit juices mixed with vodka is never good.
Yeah, just shoot the vodka and chase with the grape Kool-Aid.
Yeah, get it over with.
If that's what you got. He also is like on like Dr. Crawler's on a weird rock for this.
Yeah, he crawls onto a dark rock.
Yeah, maybe suggesting his snake-like qualities, but I thought more would happen with the rock. Like maybe it was like cursed or like a remnant of Serpo.
Instead, Dr. Crawler just climbs up on it and spreads himself out across it and cracks his back and goes, which is a really strange scene for R.L. to write.
Maybe it was a White Snake reference, like he's like on the car doing like the sexy girl on the car dance.
Yeah.
We get another like pretty good scare. Like honestly, like there are good moments in this. We get another pretty good scare where Roddy thinks there's a snake that crawled into his ear.
Oh my god, that one is ridiculous. That is like high-end neuroticism. So he wakes up in the middle of the night screaming, "Snake, snake, there's a snake in my ear." Yeah. Really big assumption by Roddy. They pull a small, cute little caterpillar out of his ear. He does have the scared thought, which I kind of relate to, where he says, maybe it planted eggs in my ear and 1,000 caterpillars.
Very bloodborne.
Incredibly bloodborne. Very bloodborne filled.
And yeah, like that like caterpillar in the ear thing, like that like thing, creatures in the ear is a legitimate fear. I wouldn't want to have it. And there's like that
the earwig thing. Remember that did you get told the earwig thing that they crawl in your ear and they would go into your brain and kill you?
And there's like the creepypasta about like the person who got a cockroach in their ear, which makes no sense.
Wait, what? I don't think I've read that one.
Yeah, there's like a creepypasta going around about somebody's real account of getting a cockroach in their ear that had to be surgically removed, and they could hear it dying or whatever.
Okay, story time. One time I was at my friend Brandon's house, and his dad was definitely a hypochondriac, and definitely infused both of us with hypochondriacs itis for the
It
rest
is
of our life.
transmissible.
It is classically, all hypochondriacs have caught their hypochondria from someone else. He would do all kinds of things where he would be like, oh, I'm so sick, I'm gonna die, and all this stuff like that, and was very dramatic about it. So we were used to him acting dramatic. And one day, it was summer, doors were open, windows were open. It was a beautiful, bright, sunny summer day, and he comes screaming into the room that Brandon and I are playing video games and going, yeah, and smacking his hand against his ear. And we were like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah. He's like, there's something flew in my ear. And then he's like, I can feel it, but and he starts like he's being electrocuted.
Oh my God.
A fucking beetle or some sort of maybe a lightning bug flew directly at him and lodged itself deep within his ear canal.
Jesus Christ.
And was fluttering its little wings, and he was every time he was trying to bash it out I guess with a suctiony bash.
You get water in your ear or whatever.
We were doing all kinds of things after a while. He every time it would try to escape, it would flutter its wings and it would brush against his eardrum and upset his entire equilibrium.
Oh
One of the most debased moments of an adult I've ever seen in my life, where I was like, wow, that's not how a person's supposed to act at all. It was scary. It was truly terrifying. They had to flush it out with saline solution. Luckily, one of our neighbors was a dentist, so he had all kinds of weird gadgets on hand.
Jesus.
And he flushed it out, and we saw the thing. So I just want to say,
things can go in.
Things can get in that ear, and they will die horribly inside of there. Have experienced it.
I feel like as far as things crawling in your ear while you're sleeping, I feel like if you're out in a field and there's stuff flying around,
sure,
yeah, something might go in your ear. But if you're just chilling out, I have a defense grid when I'm sleeping. You know?
Yeah, right.
I flail, nothing's getting through.
There's there's getting through to us is getting through a video game bad guy dungeon. There's all kinds of thwomps and blades flying all over the place.
You're not going to memorize my pattern.
No,
you're not going to dodge at the right time.
It's Super Meat Boy up in here.
Yeah, that I think decent scare. I really got to give it to RL on that. Kind of ends a little too soft. Everything about this book is just a little soft.
It is soft,
but the gross ear fear hits.
And he has a really good moment coming up soon. That is his gross out things in this are top tier, right? He hits he found some areas where he could do some actual scary things with children. In this one, that would be what I would say was his most successful aspects of this book.
He also there's not enough camp stuff in this, unfortunately.
Right.
But he does capture the camp inside joke very well in a later sequence when they see skunks on their hike.
Yeah.
And Nathan goes, "Keep downwind."
Yeah, keep downwind. And they bring it back later, which is
great.
They
bash him for it later, where Nathan's get those swimsuits on, and Boone goes, "And keep downwind," right?
It's great, which is a callback that you don't normally get in a Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Usually he doesn't bring those things through, but he had a good editor on this one who might maybe seeded that one back in. I do love the swimming scene. I think it's a classic and bad scare that we always get. But we've been told about Serpo so much in this one.
Give us Serpo.
Take us to Serpo. So they're going down. So the lore behind Serpo is he's a giant snake that lives in Camp Snake Lake in Camp Slither. And he rests at the bottom and hibernates there. And every year, in order to keep him from eating the rest of the counselors and the owners of the camp, they have kids during Cabin Wars go swimming across the lake, and any kids that Serpo can eat are his food for the year. And he is sated and sent back down to the bottom of Snake Lake.
It's good lore.
It's great lore. Thank you, Roddy.
There's another thing in this, in the Nathan death fake out thing where you think Serpo's got Nathan. Except no, you don't, because every camp counselor is going to fuck with a kid.
Yeah, exactly. We know what's going on here. Even Boone falls for it, which makes me upset. Yeah, so what happens is they are going to swim across the lake. Roddy won't do it. Nathan says, let me show you how easy it is to swim across the lake and how undangerous it is to swim across this lake. Jumps in, pretends to drown. Boone falls for it, which is... and it's not during this part that he calls himself a brave dude, but he is a brave dude in this moment where he jumps in to save him.
Yeah, Boone runs right in, and he's like, oh no, he's not coming up, and he rushes in to go find him, and Nathan grabs him from behind and freaks him out. But did you catch that Nathan spits a quote gusher of water? What is it with all the water spitting in Horrorland? What is that about?
Wait, has there been more water spitting?
Yeah, one of the kids says that their family it was the Dr. Maniac one.
Uh-huh.
He writes that his family's thing is they can spit water real good at each other.
That's right. That's right. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm not a water spitter. I've never was the type of person that would spit water at somebody. I don't think I
didn't even know that was a click. I didn't even know that was a circle.
My cousin, a masterful gross out person. One thing that he used to love to do that really makes me ill to my stomach to think about it to this day. He's real good at hawking a loogie, and he would do you ever know someone who did this? He would let the loogie descend from his mouth for feet, and then suck it back up. Oh, it makes me sick to think about it. I just turned my head away from the mic because I got so nauseated by the idea.
It's a real sensory episode.
I know. I'm telling you all the horrors of my childhood this year.
This is what
episode.
Camp Slither brings out. Welcome to Camp Slither really brings out
Welcome to
the
Camp
bad touch.
Welcome to Camp Spitter. You know, that's what this really is. It was so nasty. He would do water spits where he would drink water and and shoot it at you and stuff. So I guess I thought that was gross, and I still think it's gross, and I did not like it when he did it. But he would do that to me and other people, and he was very good at it. So I guess that's why.
Blissfully unaware that was a type of guy.
You lived an unbiological warfared life as a child. Congrats.
At this point, Roddy says, "I'm gonna go back to the cabin," and then we get the wham line that was the last time I saw Roddy.
Yep.
But
Roddy, it wasn't actually.
It wasn't really. Dr. Crawler and a bunch of counselors come and collect all of Roddy's stuff while Boone and Sid and Kelly are chilling at the cabin. And they're like, well, that's really fucking weird. How was he out that fast that he didn't get any of his stuff?
Right, yeah. Left his manga. Open to the page where he was going to find out if they were going to catch Death Note Man.
They were going to do it in that issue.
It was going to be that one.
That's the best part about Death Note, is that there's no will they, won't they catch Death Note Man. They catch him right away.
Yeah. Famous for that.
Yeah, it's very short. You're only around for $2, and then it's just a lot of hanging out. Nathan hates mysteries, and he's like, I'm gonna go figure out what happened to Roddy. And I bet it has something to do with all the hissing that's been going on at night, because that shit is not crickets. Mm-hmm. And he's like, who's with me? And Sid and Kelly are like, no, we're not.
This is a moment, actually, there was a little bit of writing in this that I think is just, it's so funny, because it's this is a professional book published by Scholastic. And it has a line in it that is just the definition of bad writing, which is, he says, are you guys with me, essentially? And then the line that follows it up is, they shook their heads. Shaking your head can go
which
up
way
or left way or right way, or you can go or up, down, left, and left, right. And in my mind,
did they pan? Was it a zoom?
What's going on here? So in my mind, I think up and down. I'm like, oh, shook their head. Yeah, we're in. Yeah. So far, they've been DTF, down to fight evil. And DTFE. And then they instantly say, no, I'm not going with you, which is just one of those moments where they talk to you. They're like, never give your reader the chance to think one thing and then be proven wrong later, because the second that you prove their thing that they imagined wrong, you've broken your world, right? Like, suddenly
they're going to stop thinking in terms of your world because they're like, oh, I tried to participate and I was wrong.
Exactly. So it's like a terrible, like, you need to like make it clear what kind of shake they did. And we did not get a clear shake. Very, very small thing, made me very angry.
Yeah, but Boone ends up recruiting Heather for this mission.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I sort of put together in my notes.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if I can fully explain this on air, but
Okay.
I felt this
Okay.
really and truly in the moment.
Yeah.
Heather is Tom Bombadil.
Wow.
She just kind of exists and says the same shit over and over again and kind of rhymes with herself. And
she's indestructible.
She's indestructible. She has charms. She's married to Goldberry River Daughter. Like, there's just like little signs that make me think of Tom Bombadil when I see Heather.
I think I'm with you on this. And if they made this into an episode and she wasn't in it, I will be as upset as all of those Lord of the Rings fans.
Dude, they would cut her out of this. They'd be like, Heather doesn't exist.
She doesn't do anything in this story.
That's an unnecessary complication. That's a ding-dong complication.
How are we gonna get the ding-dong rights to all her diggity-daggity catchphrases? What was this other one? Diggity.
Diggity.
Diggity. All her diggity catchphrases.
Supremely fucked up, just as Tom Bombadil should be. So they get to the Hiss building and they found a mountain of mice.
Yeah, this is great because they go up. I actually thought this scene was the scariest scene in the whole book.
Really? The mice mountain is the most fucked up.
He's fucking scary. It's creepy. Now, let's both agree, these were rats at first, right?
Yeah.
I know that snakes eat mice and that is a common thing, but like, I think these were rats because it would be more fucked up if they were rats.
A rat is a fighting mouse.
And a rat is a fighting and biting mouse.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they couldn't be rats, because they would have been biting the crap out of those little kids.
Again, this whole story is just enveloped in a cushiony, soft marshmallow. Like, instead of rats, it's mice. And instead of, like, a giant snake, there's no giant snake.
It's a defanged book. Let's be honest.
Wow. Whoa, blistering.
That's right. I got you. I burnt you on your bad writing and your defanged narrative, RL.
I feel like RL was sipping a hot chocolate or something.
He spit it out. He spit it out in a perfect geyser at one of his children.
His perfect, probably 30-something children.
Yeah. So first off, I do think that the house is cool because there's this creepy house on a hill that they're headed towards.
I was kind of zooming at this point. I didn't really absorb too many details. They talk about that Dr. Crawler lives in a house, but it's not in the same area.
Yeah, it's in the main camp complex, whereas this house his house is situated on a hill. His house.
And Crawler could have just been like, when someone said, "What's that hissing sound?" He could have been like, "Oh, it's the house that hisses. Don't worry about it.
It's got steam. It's got steam heat.
It's got steam in it. Whatever.
It gets real cold on the top of that hill."
Instead, he was like, "Oh, it's crickets." Like, man,
I heard crickets before. Doesn't sound like hundreds of tiny violins to me. If cartoons have taught me anything, it's that they're little tiny violins that they're playing.
Kind of true. It is like actually.
It is kind of like little violins,
like rubbing their legs together. Yeah. That's like violin.
Yeah.
So a mouse tsunami breaks containment.
Yeah. So they get into the house extremely easily. And
they just walk in. There's no locked doors or anything.
Nothing is locked in this camp except for when you need it to not be locked to get out. Yeah, it's just they walk in.
Yeah, you're right. It then locks. The door locks behind them.
The door locks when they go in. So they walk in, and there's literally they see the mountain of mice, which is disgusting if you think about it.
Yeah.
The way he describes it is like there's piles of mice falling off of it. Like,
yeah, like I was like, what's at the center of the pile of mice? But the answer is mice.
Yeah, more
and
mice.
It's like they're forming a mountain to like try and get height to escape, but they're not really. They're like churning like a bucket of crabs or whatever. They're pulling each other down.
It's a Rat King situation, right?
It's not how mice, I think, are meant to be stored. I get the problem. Why they need the I get the problem. I get why they need the mice, but like I think they bought like the Costco mice thinking that they'd rip right through them, and they've just got too many mice.
They overbought a little bit. They just can't eat eat fast enough to get through
Yeah.
this mice mountain. The best part is the mice are in a mountain indeed, but they are trapped within a very thin chicken wire that the kids could not see right away.
And which immediately breaks. Like,
Yeah.
once the mice clock that there are no snakes present, they're like, quickly attack the barrier. And they breach, and as the kids are locked in, just a tidal wave of mice.
They're pouring
moves to
on
consume
them. They're like crawling in their hair and on their necks and up their shirts and up their socks, and it's like it's horrible. It's a horrible, like, it's if you really think about it.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't be phased. I think that's kind of cute.
I was thinking about that, and I was like, mice are kind of cute.
They're a little cute. They're little cuties.
That's why I thought it was probably rats to start. But again, those things, if it were rats, they'd have been biting the crap out of those kids, and then there'd be all kinds
It's true, yeah. Rats got, like, jaws on them. I don't think a mouse is really going to fuck me
No.
up. But I could be wrong. If you've had a mouse encounter, let
I
me
think
know.
they probably could bite you, but probably, I don't know, that maybe hundreds of them will be able to do some serious damage.
In my head, these were, like, white lab mice or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, these weren't, like, grody field mice with who knows what disease.
Yeah, they're
like,
little cuties.
These were designer mice.
Yeah, these are little cutie mice that you have in your house as a pet.
Standardized mice.
Yeah.
Mice for Serpo. That's what the kids jump to the conclusion of. It's like, no, they need these mice to feed Serpo so he doesn't eat the kids.
Yeah, clearly these
and
are
I'm like,
even though Serpo could eat this entire mountain of mice in one bite.
like, what do you do? Do you just, like, dump all the mice, like, in the lake at once? Like, surely they'd spread out like a raft or like an oil slick or something. But yeah, so they're the door that's unlocked from the outside but locks you in to the mouse room is keeping Boone and Heather trapped until Sid and Kelly show up, because they were concerned and they watched them go to the house, but they didn't say anything.
And you know how Sid and Kelly, they didn't say anything, but they do show up. They do follow them. They do break in.
Show up, and I was very happy to see them and proud of them.
And I'm really proud of them because Sid and Kelly, they show up, and not only do they free them in their moment of need, but they also recognize the mountain of mice, and they don't panic. They simply begin to remove the mice from their body.
They go to work.
They start kicking mice. They start throwing mice.
And you know what's more tremendously fucked up than kicking and throwing mice?
What's that?
It's the fact that this is one of the few times a child has had a character arc, and where they're one way and then an event changes them and they become a different way.
Yeah.
Like, Sid and Kelly don't care, and then they find out they care, and then they have their moment of glory, and it's like, it all happens off screen. Like,
we have a Merry and Pippin in this we have a Merry and Pippin in this fellowship, Kevin.
Oh my god, the fellowship consists of Tom Bombadil, Merry, Pippin, and I'm gonna say Boone is Gloin.
Who's Roddy? Wormtongue.
Roddy's like a lesser elf.
Okay.
Maybe Legolas's dad.
Were there any punk ass elves? I can't recall there.
Legolas was the punk. Like, he is.
I guess he is the most punk ass elf there is.
He's kind of like the punkest elf that ever lived.
We don't see him be a punk ass in the movies though. They
don't
show
the movies not so much. He doesn't get a lot to do. But
he's
the way
in The Hobbit, he's got a little bit of his punk ass self.
It's really like what you hear about him, where like he's the representative from Mirkwood, I think. And like he's different from his dad, and like he's got like baggage with his dad, and Gimli also has baggage with Legolas's dad,
which is why they fall in love.
Canonically, you don't break a man into heaven if he ain't fucking.
That's the deepest truth of that entire book. So they break them out of the mountain.
Oh, and then they're like, we're gonna go right to the counselors, and I'm like, okay, now we're really moving. Like, we're really cooking. They open the counselor's cabin and they pull the sheets off, and guess what? There's a snake. And they're like, holy shit, poisonous snakes, and the snakes chase them. And they're like, why are there snakes where the counselors
more
were?
proof that Heather is Tom Bombadil. Heather falls.
Yep.
A snake is wrapped about her leg. It can't even bite her because her glorious godlike power is emitted from her body. And it knows that if it were to bite her, it would see the infinite and learn everything and then end its own life.
Just like in The Hobbit. That's why the hobbits know not to bite Tom Bombadil. Mm-hmm. They'll see the infinite.
They'll see the infinite and they'll end their own life.
So we find out that the count, like, I don't think this is where we find it out, but I wrote down the counselors are snakes. And
yeah, we don't find this out in this moment. There's just some sort of like, I don't know, there's some like can kicking that happens here.
Yeah, Nathan's like, we were camping. It's tradition for the counselors to camp, like on the beach, like this week. I don't know how those snakes got into our beds. And we do find out that the counselors turn into snakes at night.
Of course.
And I was like, they turn into regular sized snakes because some of those snakes aren't very big.
They're squeezing a lot of human stuff inside those little snake bodies.
Yeah, a lot to think about here. But in general, like, and it's like, couldn't you just hide? Like, why were you chasing the kids? Were you like shooting to kill? Like, I guess they do wrap around Heather's leg.
They don't kill them. Which it seems like they could have killed them. So I guess they were trying to capture them at that point. Because what happens?
It's can kicking. They're kicking the can.
They're kicking the can. Because ultimately, what happens is we get a little harumphing, we get a little bit of lying, but ultimately the kids are, especially Boone, cannot abide a mystery. And
so they look at the pamphlet. They go back to the manual. They look at the pamphlet for the.
That's right. They look at the manual. They find the hidden secrets in the notes section.
This part is going to sound like we're making shit up, like the fakest part. But they go to the manual and they find out that they find a little quote on the back that says, "If any camper has a problem, just come talk to me, Uncle Jerry." And they're like, "Well, we've never even seen Uncle Jerry. We got to get to the bottom of this Uncle Jerry mystery, in addition to getting to the bottom of this where'd Roddy go mystery."
Mm-hmm.
So they go back. Do they go back to the steam house, the hissing house?
I don't even think it might be near it. I can't recall where. It gets a little confused here because they're just like, we got to find Uncle Jerry. They go to some place where they're like,
he did not make a map for this one.
No.
We know there's a lake. We know that there's a trail. And we know that there's
I think they might go to... Yeah, they find a cabin that says Uncle Jerry on it, and they open
the door, and like there's like an 80s villain reveal.
Yep.
Where
a chair turns around.
Yeah, Dr. Crawler's sitting in a chair, and he has pointy teeth this time, which I thought was creepy.
That is creepy. And then he has a second evil villain chair next to him. And
yeah, they turn that around, and there's a talking snake, and it's like, this is Uncle Jerry. Science turned him into a snake because they were doing experiments.
This is the wildest part. Okay, so let's break down what is happening here.
Well, first of all, I think we only get this because Boone hates mysteries so goddamn much that he lunges across the table and grabs Dr. Crawler by like the collar of his shirt, and he says, "Tell us the truth. Like, stop lying to us. No more mysteries, no more lies." And then we find out that they did science and became snakes.
It's absurd. They say that they were testing anti-venom science, and in their tests accidentally turned all of themselves into snakes. Some of them, like Uncle Jerry, are stuck as snakes. Some of them, like Dr. Crawler and the camp counselors, only temporary are only wear snakes, and only at night become snakes. So they're fine during the day. So they're collecting new children because now, at first you're like, oh, how did you accidentally test anti-venom that turned yourself into a snake? But then you realize that their solution to solving the problem that they caused is to turn more people into snakes and test their solutions on the people who have just been turned into snakes when they have perfectly good snake folk that they can test this technology on right there. They don't need to make more snake folk. Got plenty.
But it's a twisted kind of logic where they're like, well, we're not going to test on any of us because we don't want to die.
Right. Right. That's the implication.
We know how to make people snakes. We just don't know how to make snakes people.
Yeah.
So we'll just turn some, I don't know, like garbage, like children into snakes, and then we'll do tests on them. And hey, we might cure one of them.
if we get a cure, that's a bonus.
Yeah. And it's very evil and good, but it's also like you were doing science experiments at a campground, and I guess that's plausible.
It is. Like I said, I think he realized he had 5 chapters of story to tell in a single chapter and didn't want to get rid of any of the killer stuff he had at the beginning of this story.
Yeah,
so
this is very much 10 pounds of bullshit in a 5-pound bag.
Yes. So they wrap the kids up. They take them to the science auditorium.
We see Roddy again. He's got like a
snake tongue.
metal...
He's got a little snake tongue. He's like
he's got a little snake tongue. He's like, and I'm like, Roddy's cool now.
Roddy got cool.
Roddy's alt now.
Roddy's got body moddies. What?
Whoa. And then they turn Roddy even more into a snake, and Uncle Jerry the snake does a little snake dance. He's so happy. And I'm like kind of rooting for the snakes at this point.
The snakes are cool, and the kids have not shown me anything as neat as snake dance yet, so
we find out that the sun glow is snake DNA that they're just smearing on themselves.
Slowly seeding them with snake DNA.
Snake DNA. It's just snake DNA.
It's just a little snake DNA.
Yeah, it's just snake DNA, guys. It's just snake DNA.
Snake DNA is said a lot over this one chapter.
They fully turn Roddy into a snake. And Boone gets a trait out of nowhere in that he says he likes animals at the beginning.
Yeah.
But we don't know how he knows so much about snakes. But in this moment, he recognizes... He
rolls a 20 with his snake lore, with his natural snake lore that he has.
Do I know what kind of snake that is? Will my character know what kind of snake that is? And he gets a nat 20, and he clocks it immediately. Roddy got turned into a king snake.
Yep.
The snake that eats snakes. Those zoo books from Scholastic finally paying off.
Mm-hmm. And then he tells Uncle Jerry that
this is he does like his supervillain speech where he picks the snake up and he cocks it like a shotgun. And he says, "Do you know what the biggest threat to snakes is?" And the snake goes, "Man." And Roddy goes, "Nah. I mean, well, yeah."
He's
but
like, yeah, actually, that is the number one. But number two is the king snake. And then he shoots Roddy like a shotgun shell at Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry tries to attack the king snake, and in his confusion, hurts himself.
Does the Ouroboros thing and bites his own tail, injecting himself with his own. Really good way to get around children doing
that's
murder.
I love that. That was the aspect I was like, oh, I see why they're doing this. But then I did Google it, and yes, a snake can poison itself, and it does happen. So, not without precedent.
Dude, I mean, I feel like I would not last long as a snake, because I'd just be like, chowing down on like some peanut butter pretzels or something.
Bite your tongue?
Bite my goddamn lip, bite my goddamn tongue.
I would be, I'd be dead 1,000 times over in this life already.
Snake life, not for me. But where snake, I feel like I could work it.
I could restrain. I would just not eat in snake form as much as possible.
I feel like that's a good move in general.
I'd fast in snake form. Yeah, I don't know what kinds of things I'd get up to with eating in snake form,
So this is where the book it got too far ahead of itself, and now it has to like go into the most contrived, jokey shit where we get a happy ending in time for Horrorland. I don't like all these happy endings.
I love there's a literal quote that I had to write down literally after the chapter ends where Uncle Jerry bites himself and kills himself in his confusion.
And Roddy de-snakes 5 minutes later and is like, "Oh, I guess I was just a snake for 5 minutes."
And the best part is that he kills himself, and then Uncle Jerry kills himself. Roddy turns back, and all the other snakes flee because their leader was killed.
That's how snakes work.
They no longer want to solve the problem that they've put themselves in. They just are like, well, let's get the hell out of here.
Well, I could easily bite myself. I'm out of here.
Anything could happen. They run off, and then the next chapter begins with a happy ending for everyone but the snakes. A real sentence. A real sentence that was written into this book. Pretty incredible writing there. Then we have the car ride home. Boone does something really sweet here. He gets Heather a present.
He gets Heather a snake, and the snake gets like the Flintstones animal line at the end or whatever.
Yep.
Where he's like, "Many happy returns." We didn't even talk about all the snake talk.
No, there's snake talk. We didn't talk about snake talk.
You get it. You understand.
Once Uncle Jerry is revealed, snake talk begins.
Yeah, there's a lot. We fill a lot of the character count of this book with extra. I like thinking that it's a character count and not a word count that he's got to work up to. We get a joke on top of a joke because the the previous chapter ends with Roddy saying, "Next time I'm going to Latin camp," and I'm like, okay, yep, that's how it ends. But then we get another one because RL just couldn't decide which he liked better. We get Birthday Snake.
Snake.
Sure. Many happy returns.
It's passably clever, right? Like, it's clever enough.
It is passively passively and passively.
Passably.
It passes. This counts as humor. This is silly.
Ambient humor.
Yeah, it's like you're not being assaulted in the face, so this is funny. It's a little more cerebral than that.
There's a joke in the room. It's like having a rubber chicken in the room.
Yeah, the joke is coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Horrorland.
It's bad. It's just bad.
It's just bad. Do we want to just say that it's bad? We can save everyone a lot of time.
It literally,
Dr. Maniac shows up. It's bad.
Nothing happens. Literally,
Purple Rage shows up. It's bad.
It's literally he shows up. He's captured. He tells they reveal their fear to him, which is a smart thing to do if you're a villain.
Yeah, the horrors are like, we're afraid of snakes. This is never going to come up again.
Yeah, and then he decides to weaponize that knowledge and pull a fire alarm by screaming "snake" on the bus.
Yeah,
and it works. The horrors run away.
It works for some reason, and he's like, "There's no snake." They get on a roller coaster. They go underground,
and they're caught again.
And they're recaptured by the horrors. So again, another worthless, useless dance of we escaped, we're trapped.
And like, we're not gaining any new knowledge. The only people that are gaining new knowledge is Boone, who we're ahead of on this whole thing. And so we're like sitting there like having to get him caught up, and we're like, yeah, you're gonna hear you're gonna talk to this kid and they're gonna say this, and
Boone's like, wow, there's way too many kids. And I'm like, yeah, I know, dude.
That again, quote, so many kids, I struggled to keep the name straight. RL, come on, man. Kill a couple kids.
If I'm trying to find something nice to say, like, we do see like shout outs to the horrors that the kids have witnessed so far in the plot. Like, we get a callback to no Slappy. I thought for sure the keeper would be Slappy.
Me too. I thought I was waiting for because he comes hooded too.
Yeah, I know Chad already told us that it would be Dr. Maniac, but
yeah. I forgot.
Dr. Maniac shows up, and so does the Purple Rage, and they're friends now, I guess, and that's kind of that's kind of cute. But like, we see references to the other, like I think the haunted mask appears again.
The mask appears. The best thing is Billy and Sheena Deep just see a picture of the bad guy. A picture of a pirate. Yeah. Yeah, like they couldn't get the rights to the pirate. No, he wasn't available for a full shoot day, so they were like, "Well, I'll just get a picture of him."
Yeah, we'll work it. It's bad. It doesn't work, and
we're just treading water. I feel like there is something that's going to happen, but we need.
I can't even give it that. Don't feel. Like
you're right. I'm being really generous there.
Yeah, that's a very generous statement.
The best thing is that the roller coaster they go on is called the Ripper Dipper. That's the best thing that happens in this.
Yeah,
that's not enough for Kevin.
I just don't get what the appeal of Horrorland is. I know you guys really like the original books.
The first one was fun. The first one,
and I read it, and I thought it was like flawed enough. It was good enough that you had something to build on, but flawed enough that like the first attempt like didn't really get to everything good about it.
Yeah,
but like maybe that is all that was there, because like I just think this is such a botch. Like it's made. The fact that it like we can point out how it makes these main stories worse, and then there's still more preview of like the next book included in all these books.
That's the wild thing, is you get like 130-page book, and they're just like giving away larger and larger chunks of the next book to try and fill the space of these things.
It's very strange.
We have entire pages dedicated to pamphlets with the same thing, which is just a novelty food or toy joke. And the other side just says Escape Horrorland on it. You don't even get any like world building from these things. It's the same thing. Like, we already know that Escape Horrorland is the mantra here, guy. Like, you can give us a little more. Like, they're just completely uninspired, and the
Horrorland children are piling up like mice behind a mesh screen,
behind a chicken wire. These chicken wired mice children are overflowing. It's bad. I hope that we're headed towards some sort of event that maybe he's got to get rid of some kids, right? Like
he's got to cull the herd. Like there must be a culling.
If there's a culling, this will all have been worth it.
Combine like the kids into some kind of mass. Like,
give me like a abyssal horror child body mass, right?
Or just give them traits. You could just give them traits, and maybe like I don't know, like maybe Roddy is a weresnake, and the Deeps have skeleton powers or something.
Yeah, or like have a cool lance that they throw together.
Yeah, give them a lance. Give somebody a lance, for Christ's sake.
They work together, and it like flies through the air, and like a cool like godlike light shines from it, and it blinds the horrors temporarily before it stabs them in the throat.
Yeah, and then they walk up to Ned, and they say, "This is the lance that pierced the side of Christ."
Longinus? The Longinus?
You thought in your hubris that you could stand against us.
This is getting cooler. Again, we're writing the cooler book for him. God damn it, I hate it when we do that.
If you just write stuff that you enjoy. Maybe RL does enjoy all this stuff. Maybe like that. Maybe this is his Lance of Longinus right here. I know he likes writing Purple Rage. Like none of that is concealed.
Without Whack My Wallaby for sure. He likes to write the Purple Rage.
Well, suck my dick. No, Purple Rage. So close every time.
Oh my god, it's just not good. We don't even have to explain. Like, we did explain what happened. They get caught a couple times.
It. Like, we hit all the points.
They get caught 3 times.
I'm sure our listenership is sick of hearing us say how bad Horrorland is.
From now on, I say we just report back if Horrorland was bad until something happens. Well, Kevin, I think that's been a bump.
Well, Paul, I'm forced to agree. And now we have to decide which one of us is going to try and cobble together the pitch for the Goosebuds Patreon.
Oh, God, we have to pitch. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think we can kind of do it with our listeners' help. Like, just go easy on us. Usually Chad rattles this off.
Yeah, Chad's so good at this.
So here's the deal, guys. If you want to go to patreon.com/goosebuds, I think that's it. I don't know if it's Goosebuds Pod.
We don't even know the name of the site.
We don't even know. It
keeps us alive.
I'm looking out my window, and he's literally fighting a cabin. The cabin's up on 2 elephant feet, and he's fighting it like a Dark Souls boss.
Oh, he's got the lance. He's lanced it. Oh, it's only a matter of hours before he takes this thing down now.
If you want access to video of Chad fighting a cabin, if you want to join our Discord, if you want to listen to Camp Goosebuds, a secret podcast that we do every month, there's many episodes of Camp Goosebuds.
With occasional listener involvement?
Occasionally, yeah. If you want to join a really nice Discord community where like everyone's pretty cool and they share cool stuff about themselves,
it's chill and very active on Discord.
If that sounds good to you, then maybe give us $1. I don't know. You've got some kind of machine where you can type the words Goosebuds and Patreon in there and you'll find it. I trust you.
There's been good Simpsons jokes in there. Someone has a cool Mr. Tasty print they just dropped. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff there. Come join us if you want. You can also join for free if you just want to be updated on our various comings and goings and doings. We're probably going to be sticking around Patreon for a while since that's how we pay the bills. So yeah, come join the Goosebuds Patreon. Paul, you've been doing exciting things with UFO 50. Is that going to be a Patreon exclusive, or is that going to go out to the public?
That is a great question, Kevin. Actually, there will be, when this episode comes out, there will be an episode on youtube.com/continue show. So if you liked what you heard, you can go right now while you're listening, after you're done listening to this, when you're done, after the pitch, please. After the timeshare pitch, you can go and there will be, the first episode at least will be out. I don't know how long it's going to take for this episode to come out, but the second one should be pretty dang close. So you should be having a couple. So yeah, the 3 episodes that we recorded are all going to be fully public. No Patreon blockade for those.
Nice.
It rocks.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to playing UFO 50, honestly.
Yeah, you should watch the episodes and then go buy UFO 50 and have a great time.
Nice. And you can also check out my stuff. You can go to supertrystudios.com and play my video games. I've been posting every week like some sort of game design musing and a picture of my cat on my Patreon.
I was going to say, is that a pay thing or is that free for anyone who follows?
That's if you give me $1, you have access to that. I think if you give me any amount of money,
that
you have access
post
to that.
is always worth more than $1, but it's always worth $1, in my opinion. I read it every week. I almost always learn something new, and if I didn't learn something new, I learned something about. It's very similar to the Derek Yu book. I get a deeper and more nuanced understanding of something I maybe already kind of knew about, and it's great.
And it goes straight to your email. You don't have to click like on anything. You don't have to do anything. It just goes to your email. Boop, you read it right in the email. There you go.
No stipulations, and you get a picture of a cute cat.
Yeah, sometimes you get a GIF in there, and pretty much every time you get a picture of a cute cat, except all the times I put a picture of a cute dog in there.
It's always a cute thing, though.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Trust me, it's worth it for that alone. And you get to sort of see, I love just watching your development process on,
thanks,
especially, I told you a while ago, it was my favorite thing about following the hack development process was reading the What's Up Wednesdays about them. Because it's just, you have the same knack, I think, that Derek Yu has of really simply telling deep, intricate game design things. I don't know. You just do it. You really sum it up very nicely. So it's definitely worth.
Thank you, man. That's such a huge compliment.
$1 is nothing,
and it really helps. Honestly, it really helps. I don't really have a main job apart from Goosebuds and working on my games and tabletop stuff. So if you can throw me some money, it all helps. Hootie is now on $3 a can super fancy food for her bladder.
Med food. I know how it is.
She's on the expensive med food, so my months have gotten a little more expensive. So if you want to buy food for my cat, I appreciate it.
Bless up. Pay for that cat's food, please.
Bless up. I'll show you pictures. She's a good cat. All right, well, we should probably start casting buffs on Chad so you can fight those cabins.
Yeah, he's got it down, but it seems to be casting some sort of AoE that has wrapped him in purple vines. They look like snakes, maybe?
Oh, no, those are his own fingers.
Oh, wait, no, he's got the weird device that looks like a hairdryer with a purple, spinny, silver tip ball. There's a lot going on. We should get down there.
Yeah, we'll just prep the res. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters, especially those in the venerable position of the Book of Names.
The Book of Names.
Book of Names.
Starting with Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Michael McDowell,
Hey Josh Rob,
Mickey C,
Nathan Dolezal,
Mike Clan Terry,
Buddy Morrill,
Alacade,
Mel Dibson,
Afsheen,
Dango Twists,
Zenticles,
Stealth, a beautifully fleshed skeleton Bates,
Rubber Moon,
Brian Wells,
Jason Crooker,
Clay Castle,
Miguel Pardo,
John Keaty,
Calf,
Bring Back Paranoia Shop, hashtag Justice for Shoppers. Oh no, it's got a hashtag now.
Oh no, it's becoming the Zack Snyder hashtag.
The Juggalobalist,
Gregory D. Warren,
Cody Redfield,
Bradford Coulter,
Aiden wants to be the ring bearer at the wedding. You don't want this ring, Aiden.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
Wedding Bells,
You'll get it one day. Jar Jar Slinks,
Chosen One,
Levi Than,
Up and Champ,
Jonas Engman,
Carl,
Anthony Mulberry,
the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation,
Elusive Koala,
Yanni Marco Vina,
Brooke X,
Jesus Christ,
Christian Van Skiver,
Jeremy Lowe,
Brian Hobgood,
Zach Connor,
Joe, Spooky Digital Ghost Tierney,
Tom Whittam.
Andrew Jadzik is concerned Chad is going to booby trap the wedding in some way.
Your concern is valid.
I'm concerned he's not going to booby trap the wedding. What's a wedding without a booby
Yeah,
trap?
they need more of those.
Lord Cornwallis,
Carson Birkenbean,
Murph Epp,
Sean Minogue,
Tevin Ticklebean stoically warns the next moon carries apple men with her. Our trees are not ready.
Not the Appleman.
Oh, the Appleman.
I love that. That's cool.
Rushing Glenn.
Luke.
Chip Handsome.
Matt McClellan.
Tawny Turtle.
Juan Jalapena.
Keith Halcrow.
Timothy Misadolakis.
Clay McCarty. Yao Gagarin. Did I say that right?
Sounded good to me.
Yes.
Yowie Gargarin.
Yes.
Hambo.
Raymond Hernandez.
The Crowfens, but seasonal.
Matthew Sutton.
John Barber.
Jeff Coffey.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Russell Castberg.
Xavier Jimenez Castillo.
Chris Pewtracus.
Scotty Pippen.
Tobias Clark.
Flamley.
Dungeon Kappa.
Sarah Kemp.
Are quicksand traps illegal?
No, because God made them.
They don't exist, so.
Zach Ware.
Lip Duck.
Meet Virginia.
Jonas Blotterman.
Alex Moon, the robotic dog.
Estamina, Lord of Paul's Pants.
Chris Handjob Ghost came out the TV Nelson.
Streak.
Paul Grasso.
Joe, regular name Scott.
Kieran McNamara.
Diet soda.
Lamb.
Coleman Laguza.
A pair of Scots.
Shag, Mary, Kill. Ooh, very British. Shag, Mary, Kill. Slappy, Curly, Monster Blood. This is a question they don't allow question marks.
Arrested.
Okay, so Kevin, you have to answer that, yeah. Slappy,
Okay.
Curly, Monster Blood.
Well, obviously, Kill Slappy.
Yeah, clearly.
Marry Curly and Shag Monster Blood.
Yeah,
I
Monster-
feel like that's the only correct
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah,
You
'cause-
can't
Oh
marry
God, Monster Blood would be
Slappy.
filthy.
But
Yeah.
it'll imbue its properties on you with the shag, so you pretty much are getting a marriage. Like you're getting a marriage out of it.
Yeah.
Make your genitals bigger?
Maybe.
Would it make Curly's genitals bigger
Oh,
if he's a
my
skeleton?
God. Well, he doesn't have any, right? He has the absence of genitals.
He's about to.
He's got hair. He's got hair.
He's got a mouth.
He's got him. He's got
Jonas Enevoldsen.
He's got a mouth, which implies that he has a butthole. Levi Kidder.
he does. It's like the
It implies it. Same tissue.
getting nasty while I Chromecasty.
Whenever you talk to someone about their mouth, go like, this implies that you have a butthole. David Gray.
Luke Noodles.
Because otherwise it would just kind of pool up. Bryce
Oh
Deary.
my God! Oh, like a septic tank. Matthew Bertado.
I thought this was the day we were gonna do good. Hugh Bolin.
I know we were being so classy.
Zam Bambino. We're just thinking. We're thinking about it.
Some of Chad's bird friends chirp, listen to Camp Goosebuds to learn about Mickey Rourke's bird. That's true.
Ma, the meatloaf.
Joe Gorman.
Burger's unfortunate divorce from the entity and the rest of the polycule.
Whoa.
Polycule.
Burger, I hope you find love.
Wow.
Nicholas Maloney.
Andre Villanueva.
Eric Horwitz.
Tiffany Lee.
Nathan Remick.
Thomas Jansis.
Need more kimchi.
Lucretia McEvil.
Mutant Astronaut.
Henry Torbeck.
Reed Steubendeek.
Adam Knapp.
Joey Evans.
Carewise Gamgee.
Logan Derby.
Brad Schmelzer.
Chick.
Swaggy Yolo Squire.
Cameron Hansen.
Callum Monster Misfire West.
No longer a Mr. Now a monster.
Wow.
Mandy Nasty.
Generally depressing.
The Deadly Bulb.
Yoplin.
Ben Bohan.
Philip Reynolds.
Mr. Unimportant wants to know your most cancelable food opinion.
You have to answer it.
Onions suck.
Whoa!
Woo.
Show over.
They're
Show's
bad.
over.
You know what? If you reduce them down, they're fine. But otherwise, crunchy, slimy. Gross.
Show's over.
He said most cancelable. I'm canceled for it.
Yeah, I don't know if we can come back from that one.
Nate Bit G.
Resident Lorcana Guy.
Ryan R. Davis.
Scott Wable.
Calamity Carl.
Germ Juice.
Ev Dog.
Nick Johnson.
Gluten-free Rocky Mountain oysters. Well, I would assume so.
Blech.
Don't you want them fried? I feel like you need a breading for that. so
I
guess-
think you want to put as much things on it to make you not realize you're eating bull testicles.
Yeah, you have to put
Yeah.
as much gluten between you and the testicles as possible. Tacky Tammy.
These ones are just steamed. Greg Mustow.
Ugh. Ryan Carroll.
Dr. Diarrhea.
That man's tougher than a steamed testicle. Megan McCormick Mason.
Ninja Breadmen.
Hi, first time, long time.
Sprinkle Buns.
Hello to Kiss Frenchland.
Arid Lord.
Dr. Chocula.
Robot Arena.
Oily Suds.
Mike Art.
SSJ Trogdor.
Cassandra Harris.
Max Boltzmann.
Big Nick Lane.
Kira and Brian are big fans.
Big Corner. Blake Cavan.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Dan Antonio. Whoa!
Farrah. Right?
Quest.
Postmaster.
I realize the tilde sound has become the Mario cape noise from Super Mario World.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Chris Curto.
Cole Gleason.
Jesse Boggs.
Michael Malloy.
Red Baron.
Love your pizza. Kyle O'Neill.
We're not endorsed by him.
Soggy Newspapers. Love your pizza.
Chris Kulik. Soggy Newspapers, you mean Domino's?
Oh!
Got
Nice.
him.
Sponsor us. Dakota Kent.
I'll eat a Domino's pizza. I don't care. John W.
I will totally eat a Domino's pizza right now in front of all of you.
John W.
Time eats flesh.
Saturn Video.
Anthony Stoker.
Brony Danza.
Tanya Hyde wants more pretend friends in Goosebuddies RPG.
Same.
Agreed.
Your wish is granted right now.
Wow. We're pretending right now. Kiwi of Lerv.
Better start recording, Kevin. Wonderskin.
Max's war cry is Muppet noises.
Wonderskin. Again, Max, you're surrounded, you're flanked.
I think Wonderskin wants to download twice episodes, right? I think he wants 2 separate copies.
Yes.
Or that.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah. If it's important, you need 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 serials.
3 are best. 3's is safe.
3's is safe.
Skeet Door.
Hurt, a.k.a. Cyberbully.
Phil Force of the future.
I'd watch that. Blarbin.
Kit Bush.
Sirison.
Logan Kilgus.
Creature of the Office, Boss Ferratu.
Starship 9.
Dennis Wright.
Yo for the Moon.
Cameron Gonzaveld.
Rat IRL.
Matt Septor.
Greg, and his Gregorian chanting army of metal mugs pledge their shred to Kevin.
Another
That's pretty
pledge.
rad.
Hasn't been a pledge in a long time.
I know. B.
Problem Child 2 on DVD.
Jeff Big Baby and his wife Not a Big Baby.
Odin's _ eye hole. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Do you know what you're giving thanks for?
Nope.
Okay.
I think it's the underscore.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
The third underscore. Underscore, you're welcome. Yes.
Taraku, the thing that goes doink in the anime. Doink.
LOD.
Spencer Y.
Anthony Rodriguez.
Clint Deerking.
Agents Miskatonic.
Nail 7, but I like to believe the 7 is a little hand doing a salute.
Aw, I like that.
We salute you now.
Hey, Pelican. Capybaras are friends, not food.
Aw, 3 a.m. sleep.
Ben Floyosayer.
Edgar Crassus.
The Venomous Viper.
Whew, Bob Cabbage.
Jafar is opening a shopping district near the Ice Church to bring some much-needed capitalism to the frozen fields of the entity.
Yeah, I always thought that religion needed more money involved in it.
Yeah, I was gonna try to get us to get a Starbucks inside the Ice Church, like to bring in the youth, but this could work.
Oh, Jolly Old Jules.
Number 1 gnome.
Angelo Edward Longton Santone.
Melodies.
The Shrekronomicon.
Spencer Leith Johnson.
Geesh.
Caleb and Michael watched Transformers 5, and it was so bad, they are now seeking political asylum in Cuba with the rest of the
Oh no, they got them. Oh, they didn't make it.
Yeah, oh god, the CIA got him. Did the Transformers hide in Cuba? Was that part of it?
True.
Nowhere Lucas.
Lumo Nuva. Brian Udaf.
MC Wright.
Taylor Garofalo.
Tall glass of dumb bitch juice is now married.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats.
You could rent out the Ice Church for your reception. Complex.
Nintendo 60 jorts.
Daniel Hershberger.
Tig-ass Biddies 007.
Nice follow-up with crazy-ass nipples.
Whoa.
Tig-ass Biddies has some crazy-ass nipples, yeah.
And the trifecta, Justin.
Mimel the Delph. Damn. Elf lad fuckable.
Adam G.
Treehouse of George 2 - the new batch.
Jim Corey.
Jaybird.
Jackie Bay.
Carly Beth's parents 808. How do we explain to Carly Beth the Paranoia Shop is dead and never coming back? Slowly and gently, but she'll understand. She's mature.
Preferably over the course of several Book of Names readings.
Uh-huh.
A Yeti in the hand is worth 2 Bigfoots in a bush.
Tootin Watson.
Wyvern.
Nat Noah.
Angus Keith.
Shelly Castillo Garcia.
Big old dumb burb in a tuxedo for Ice Church wedding.
Daniel Lavelle.
Quinn!
Felix.
Cameron Murphy.
Again.
Thanos Shack Unstoppable.
At the rim, yes.
Yes. Free throws, not so much. Yeah.
Nathan Galindo.
Mitchell Showalter.
Patrick Nielsen.
Wolf CIA can't cater the wedding if booby traps.
Wolf CIA, I gotta tell you, the booby traps are for the CIA.
Hi, J. Friend Crane.
Damon the Demon.
Lee Murphy.
Steamtown.
Eric.
Andrew.
Ari.
Caleb Snyder's friend Michael is ready to watch Transformers 5. Why are so many of you watching the first one?
Don't seek asylum in Cuba, I'll tell you that much. They're on to it.
Watch the third one. That's stupid fun. That one's not bad. Well, I mean, it's bad, but watch the third one.
Mike C.
Sar Kazem.
Stephen Wargo.
Kid Chaos. And she wrote a joke so funny that I can't repeat it because we would all piss ourselves laughing.
Thank you.
Oh, it's like that story Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk.
Yeah, it's like that Monty Python sketch where they develop a joke to fight the Germans in World War II.
That's the better reference, Kevin. Kevin wins the Book of Names.
Yay!
All pledged to him.
Is it me?
Kevin, I believe. I believe it's Kevin.
Paul said thing, Kevin says thing, Ventus 13.
Is that a Kingdom Hearts reference? And welcome to the Book of Names, Ben Little.
Welcome and salutations, Dusty Burger.
Welcome, Noki Station.
Well met and welcome, Morgy Porgy Puddin' Pie.
Ni hao, Autumn.
Ni hao, everyone.
We're going international, baby.
Ni hao to us all. Welcome. Thank you all so very much for your love and support. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye. We love you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I don't know what goodbye in Chinese is.